We've been ready for every single scenario. We've been working at this. Some industries have been affected by the trade war for the past year and have shown great resiliency, and we've been working with business leaders, unions, employees themselves. And so we have a mandate from the Canadian public to build Canada, to build Canada strong, to make sure that we can create jobs, notwithstanding what's going south of the border. And that is exactly why we're here today, which made us proud and was able to represent Canada so well in space. And, you know, I think he was an example of Canadian leadership around the world. And the other thing that was really important that we announced in the last months was the defense industrial strategy and the historic investments of $500 billion that will create 125,000 jobs across the country. And we need to be able to have access to information to understand different situations and protect our territory and protect our sovereignty. And that is why so many nations around the world are investing in space and in defense, and that's exactly why we're doing so also today. And in that context, as we know, we have such a huge country, a huge territory to cover. We're focusing on the north, and we need to be able not only to understand what is required on the part of the government of Canada. It is a pleasure for me to announce $688 million to enable MDA Space to build, test, and launch a national satellite, which will be part of the rehearsed constellation mission. So congratulations, everyone.
Bonjour, mon nom est Hannah Beach pour CBC Radio-Canada. Quel est l'objectif du Canada lors des négociations de l'ASEUM de demain? Et que verrez-vous aux États-Unis cet été? Et s'il vous plaît, vous pouvez répondre dans les deux langues.
Okay. So in English now?
Yes, please.
Of course, I can say that. Of course, we've been working on the revision of the USMCA for some time. Prime Minister has been engaging with President Trump, and Minister LeBlanc has been also engaging with the representative Jamison Greer, and of course our ambassador in Washington, and Janice Charette, who's our negotiator-in-chief, has been actively engaging with the U.S. administration on this. We know that there are millions of jobs linked to this important trade deal in the U.S., and so our goal is obviously to be able to engage with community leaders, business leaders, and also politicians south of the border, as we want to make sure that we're able to create allies, because we know that there are many within American society that believe in having a stable and a reliable trade relationship with Canada. My job in the context of this negotiation is really to be in charge of the consequences of the trade war against our workers, particularly those affected by the tariffs, maybe in the steel sector, in the aluminum sector, or the auto and basically forestry sector, softwood lumber sector. We've been at it for more than a year, and we've been able to protect thousands of jobs, and we've been also able to create jobs notwithstanding what's going on. And so it shows the strength of our workers, the strength also of our business leaders, but also the resiliency of our economy. And we'll continue to fight this trade war. I'll be going to the U.S. as some of my colleagues as well, and I'll be able to say where I go when I go there. Meanwhile, the goal is to make sure that we all engage with different business leaders, politicians on both sides of the aisle, well, they don't say both sides of the aisle, but basically Republican or Democrats, and also with many community leaders, maybe at the federal level or at the state level.
Hi, Minister. Jeff Steven with Global National. Your reaction to Reuters reporting that the U.S. is going to be pulling out of CUSMA, and what would this mean for Canadian industry?
Well, I just learned the news here 30 seconds ago. Of course, I'll have the chance to talk with the Prime Minister and the Minister in charge of U.S.-Canada trade. And when we'll have more to say, we'll have more to say. These are information through a media source. And of course, we'll be waiting for any official conversation coming out from the White House. But I think fundamentally, what Canadians need to know is that we've been ready for every single scenario. We've been working at this. Some industries have been affected by the trade war for the past year and have shown great resiliency. And we've been working with business leaders, unions, employees themselves. And so we have a mandate from the Canadian public to build Canada strong, to make sure that we can create jobs, notwithstanding what's going south of the border. And that is exactly why we're here today.
Watch what just happened in that room. A minister stood up to announce a $688 million satellite contract and 500 new jobs, a genuinely good day for her government, and 30 seconds before the cameras stopped rolling, a reporter handed her a Reuters report that the United States might be walking away from CUSMA entirely, live, on camera, with zero time to prepare an answer. And her response wasn't panic. It was the same line she could have used at the start of the presser. We've been ready for every single scenario. That's either remarkable composure or a rehearsed talking point deployed at exactly the right moment. And honestly, it's probably both. Notice, she didn't deny the report, didn't downplay it, and didn't promise it wasn't true. She simply said she'd just heard it, that Ottawa would wait for something official from the White House, and then pivoted straight to the workers her ministry is actually responsible for protecting: steel, aluminum, auto, forestry, softwood lumber. That's not a minister dodging a hard question. That's a minister who has clearly rehearsed what she'd say if this exact scenario ever landed in her lap. And it just did. Strip away the breaking news moment, and there's a second story here that's easy to miss. A $688 million satellite deal tied directly to a $500 billion national defense industrial strategy, announced in the same week Washington may be preparing to blow up the trade agreement underpinning it all. Canada is trying to build sovereign capability in space, while simultaneously bracing for its most important trade relationship to come apart, and Joly's answer suggests the government has already gamed out what happens if it does. Do you think Canada really is ready for every scenario, or was that a talking point buying time until the real answer comes from Ottawa? Subscribe to Unbiased Canada, hit like, and let us know in the comments.